Hello, welcome. Let's breathe slowly, deeply, consciously, really into your core, into your heart, into the area between the heart and the thymus gland, the entry to the stomach, the lungs behind it. So the air and water and fire energy, and we're earthing it in breathing. We're letting go and we're breathing in the new energies. We will start the healing circle in a moment. I always need to do an introduction so I can gather together and focus on the very truth of my being in the now moment and allowing the energies to become crystal clear before entering that space. I feel that the template of the healing circle or sitting in circle for self-healing, it's always supporting your self-healing, but it is a support. And it is the sum of the wisdom we accumulated. I am, in a way, the facilitator, but you are also as giving your energy, your time, your heart, your lifetime, and your presence, your wisdom, and receiving these words while feeling them as well as sensing your energy for you, but also for all that which is in the micro and the macro and the ancestral and the now and what is leaving. And I would like to invite in all animals as my cat is lying right on that area as I'm speaking. The pets, particular, but all animals and all of nature is going through this transformation. This is the third try. I could not get a good mobile connection last week as I connected definitely on the 6th, but also sometime before. It was June, I cannot remember the day, and the connection kept timing out, but we had also very volatile energy. And so please, I would like to recommend to you, if you have not already listened to it, there is Stephen Burns' description of the solar storm or the solar energy, and I'm talking of the one beginning of June coming in. And don't go into the sensational, just go into that feeling bit. I know it was a very clearing and strong time. And then also please listen to Heather's 11th June full moon update, and Molly McCord's Jupiter in Cancer. And of course, there are many others out there. Kathy Rose and Tarot by Isabella and Pam Gregory. I'm sure you're aware of them. And there is Dörte Bredgard, the dentist who works with energies, because the energies manifest via the teeth as well. And the link to the spine, and I will link those in the descriptions. There are many more very, very good ones that you are aware of, especially if you have the benefit of subscribing to any of the spiritual TV or podcasts or radio shows. And I am speaking particularly to those that have to watch their budget because they have loved ones to care for, and they may look for a community, but they do not have currently the funds to join a circle, as well as those that feel, even though you have joined a circle, there may be a lot of sharing, but there is this human aspect of a community. It's like everybody is so in their own story. It's difficult to call a friend and exchange or to do a kind of co-counseling. And it's great if you can engage any professional and have the funds to do so. I would recommend it, particularly for now, Jupiter going into Cancer. For me, it's very much about self-care. Whichever house you have this in, it relates to the home. It relates to early childhood. It relates to emotions, the first water sign. And if you have a water sign or you have a night chart, Chris Brennan has on the astrology podcast a lot of free information that explains the day and the night chart. Then you are more related to the moon. And as we speak, we are in the Scorpion moon, which is also my sun sign, and I have a couple others planets in there, and Lilith, Black Lilith is going through this too, and you can research a lot of this online. However, then we have Saturn and Neptune just changed signs, went over the 29th degree into the ones of Aries, and we have Uranus and Jupiter in the end degrees of 28 to 29 something. And depending what house system you use, personally, I use the true lunar nodes, and I use Ko because that works for me. But anything, I am not here to educate you about that. It's a matter of what you feel. And some of us may feel things a week, 10 days or more beforehand. And we are in a time where the full moon is coming up. And see Heather's video for that. And We also have harmony time, so if you receive Rory Duff's newsletter, you may remember the 20th of June, the day before the solstice in the the northern hemisphere. Even though all lines are now in harmony, the 20th, 21st. You may even feel it now already because of the full moon and because of just this portal we just went through, the 669, so the 6th of June. And also the solar maximum. So in the northern hemisphere, it's the heightened solar activity, and you wouldn't think so this weekend. That is kind of the harvest festival. Not the harvest festival, it's, well, yeah, it is. My brain doesn't allow me to say the English word, but this Monday. So you wouldn't think so that we are in summer here. It's very much April weather. It's not cold, but it is coolish, around 15 to 17 degrees Celsius, and it is really that rain we didn't have for 2 months. We obviously seem to have in the last 10 days. It's okay. It's cleansing. So enough of an introduction. If you make yourself as comfortable as you can be, breathe into the core of your being and follow the breath. There is an indigo golden circle forming around this home and around Earth and around the sun. That is what is being. So there seems to be the golden from the sun and this bright dark indigo, I would say, from the oceans. Yeah, my brain would comment a lot. I would like to focus on the body, on the feeling and the perceiving. The nose standing for recognition and recognizing yourself and breathing in deeply into the air passage of your lungs, which is like the center of your being, and it has kind of wings on the backs and wings inside the lung wings. But it all is only able to breathe because of the the dexterity of water. Water isn't just water. Each element has all the other elements in it, but water is so many layered as it is related to our feelings, emotions, and our empathy. And also it's linked to compassion for ourselves and for forgiving ourselves. It is all about us, yourself, you, I. We are our best teachers. We are our best parent, and we are our best loved one. Of course, we have many other beings close to us, all those ancestrals that were dear to us, all those energetic beings we know from other dimensions, all the special pets that shared life so closely. And of course, if you are a grandparent, a parent, a sibling, or a child yourself, it kind of has the imprint of being held to the heart. And yes, the mammar glands, which have been so misused. They are not sexual symbols. They are symbols of love and nurturing. If everything functions well, all the baby needs for its first time on earth is being nurtured by the breast, by the chest, by the, yeah, the wings of mama. So the ocean symbolized in a human being, and all of us came via birthing is still via the female human being, the biological female. All humans, in fact, all mammals, and I would like to ask you to open a etherical, meaning ether, meaning a energetic fire in the middle of our healing circle. Let it be a huge bonfire. Us sitting in the indigo colored night sky, maybe on blocks of wood or straw or on a blanket on earth. Connecting our bodies placed on earth, breathing, if not watching the fire because we have the eyes closed, and sensing and listening to the cracking of the wood in the fire, the sparks, and this fire which is golden, orangey, down to deep red brown. And the stars above us, nearing the summer solstice here. But maybe you are in the winter solstice. It's a time of change. It's a time of cleansing. All those planetary bodies that symbolize water, whether you follow the Western tropical zodiac or you are looking at the real-time sky. Whether the South Node is going through all those born in Pluto and Uranus and Virgo generation, end of 50s till end of 60s, thereabouts. Which are many human beings because of this baby boomers, but it doesn't matter if you are Pluto and Leo, Pluto in Scorpio, or in any other. We all have all planets, the whole zodiac in our birth chart. It's just a matter of what stage of life we're in, and Venus is just entered Taurus, and Chiron is still in Aries, but they were together a week or so before. I can't count the days, it's just all merging. It seems to be there is a huge I can't even call it ancestral. It's probably to do with the patriarchy and the Kali Yuga we're leaving, with the Pluto in Capricorn, as well as Uranus 80+ year cycle, as we had a huge conflict. But the times I've been drawn to are the 1840s in Europe, before the revolution, and the times when it was not so much babies, because as long as they were fed by mother milk, if there was mother milk, but it's the time they go over to eating solid food too. And there was a time of famine. There was a comet, but also it was power over by, we don't even need to name those royal bloodlines, kings, queens, that truly failed their mission, because it is to lead and heal those that you're responsible for. It is not to make them poorer by forbidding everything and taking their last monies or taking the food away from the grandchildren and everybody else. It was a time when many, many, many small ones didn't get the right food, and that means many, many, many parents didn't get the right food. So the nurturing while of the mother milk was maybe not possible. And there were a lot of afflictions of the lungs because also the grief. But as you know, the body works as an orchestra. Yet, of course, there are things like accidents, there are things like conflicts, there are things like heavy diseases that may be inherited. However, that what usually exhausts a human being is the health of their soul, the health of their psyche, their emotions. Do they have hope and strength they can heal and withstand? And the laws were not helpful to women. Marriage was not helpful to women as it meant being the property of your husband and maybe having 8 children and 6 dying. So I would like to honor, I would like to focus again onto the children that left early, onto the children that weren't born alive, onto the children that didn't make their childhood, and also to the mothers, of course, the fathers too. But the difference is the mothers carried that new generation in their body. And so when a child goes early, it feels like a body part of them goes, because so much is from their cells, from their blood, from their nurturing, and everybody worked hard. But the emotional part, that sensing, there wasn't much of a voice. And so it is this powerlessness of changing your situation. Because no matter on what level we may have chosen to come in as a male or a female, the biology that is tied to being a female is more taxing. Childhood ends abruptly, often without preparation or a ritual. Half the population of this planet goes through the moon cycle, and yet you're supposed to function as normal. And so the stress is felt double. Of course, men go through the moon cycle too, but with women, the body expresses itself, and it is meant to be a time to be on your own, to withdraw into your cave or into the forest and convene with your angels, with your beings of light, and with the nature spirits. It's a time for your own meditation and prayer, reflection. It's not a time to feel shame. It's not a time to be banned from holy places. It is a time to nurture yourself. And so as we're coming up to this full moon, there must be most of female humankind going through this and having the 6-6 portal just behind us with the solar influx. And even those females that no longer have a visible moon cycle, they still feel it in their body. It reacts nevertheless, depending, of course, what type of human being you are. And maybe this all will change, as it is not about the human body or the female body. It is about the lack of voice in all, including the male. Because we all have fathers and grandfathers. Yes, and if you are lucky to have a good partner, maybe you have a brother or you have a son, in the end, it doesn't matter what type of human being is in your life. It's more a matter of how kind and supportive is their being. But it is the fact that it feels a bit like we are before a revolution, and it feels like there are conflicts, and those unborn and newly born and infants and children are born into a conflict they didn't create. And this traumatization of the innocence is going to shape their lives, and if it goes well, they will become peace walkers. But who knows? The point is that many are born into a field of trauma, and that is from the old Kali Yuga, which we are leaving. But the upheaval of this old leaving is still everywhere. So we're breathing it in and we're breathing it out. And the other thing had to do with if you are feeling allergic reaction and can't breathe, if you're feeling asthma attacks, if you're feeling coughing, deep coughing, if you are not able to breathe properly, if you're feeling you have no voice to speak, or you speak but you have no voice that is heard, if you feel invisible, all this was happening last week, and depending on what makeup your body is. You may be still going through it, or you went through it. But it's all to do with this feeling of disempowerment of life is owned supposedly by someone else. And it maybe even symbolizes by the bills that come into your letterbox or your email or whatever, and the point that this loyalty thing that was always asked from whoever has never been asked. Well, what I mean asked, it's never been a response, the responsibility, the ability to respond by the ruling or the government or the tax laws. Where is the loyalty towards us who are here with our feet on the ground, with who work with our hands and have ideas with our head? Why is this poverty struggle? Why are some of us so modern and so intelligent and so sensitive that the rest of the world is just not able to listen, or simply doesn't want to, because it wants to carry on with their denseness and their materialistic so-called success, which is really a slavery system based upon many feeding one rather than one giving to many. Yes, we are in the Aquarian age. It is the age of the 99%, but the old system is still here, and particularly the figures on the bills seem to get bigger, more, and the money being disposed through our own labor seems to get less. Call it inflation, call it economic downturn, or call it simply unfairness. You want to work, but nobody wants your work. If you work for yourself or you work for others, the thing is value. Venus and Taurus is about self-worth and self-value. Jupiter in Cancer is about nurturing the home, nurturing your body. Listen to what is in line with your own ethics. Where can you create areas of joy? Where do you find the positive energy to do the tasks that come with life on Earth? And where can we adjust it? Where do you spend your money and how? Can you support those that are local, regional, that you know well? Or can you maybe support those far away, but that treat the land, the animals, themselves, and the other human beings they're working with ethically? Here comes the clearing, as you hear. The working conditions out there have never been so unfair in the last 45 years as they've been now. Never has there been so little paid for well-educated. Never have there been so many well-educated. Whatever you mean with education, point is It feels at the moment that being good and working hard is getting one nowhere, whatever that means. What really we would like to be is being true to ourselves, being honest to what we can do and what it is too much, and set limits in that regard, or basically find other solutions, and accepting that there are times of healing like today, and there are times of doing, times of resting and trusting are important right now because we are healing so much. Okay, I'm sorry I'm so wordy. It's just never how I want to go, but it is how it's being manifested. So whose voice needs to come via my voice? Whatever the surrounding energies and the land needs to hear and wants to be voiced, I shall honor this. All the while we're sitting around this energetic fire. Whatever comes to you, if you physically want to write things down and burn them in a little metal bowl, if you want to light a candle or you light a fire, if you want to walk around the fire as if it were a medicine wheel, letting go everything going anti-clockwise and inviting in the new, then clockwise. Or if you're just lying, sitting in your comfy spot and walking around the fire now in your mind, I would like to ask you to let go of anything that is no longer needed, and drop these thoughts, these emotions into this pre-full moon, pre-solstice, but healing circle fire. Anything that you no longer need. So I will speak what comes, and you may wish to add yours. I would like us as dwellers of this earth and partners of humanity let go of any form of poverty. So I drop the word poverty into that ocean of this healing fire, sitting in this circle for self-healing, dropping poverty, dropping into the fire, letting go of any doubts, letting go any feelings of not being seen, letting go of any memories of the lack of self-worth in the entire family line and the ancestral line and in humanity's history. letting go this inequality of human beings due to their birth, due to their family of origin. Everyone is free. So dropping into the fire, the lack of freedom, the lack of free expression, the lack of clean air, the lack of health, I'll drop as well. Anything to do with bones and teeth and any restriction regarding the physical human body, anything that was considered sin, so without God or without goodness, whichever way. Anyone that claimed to be sharing the word of the god and goddesses will just let this go into this fire of cleansing and peace, letting go any conflicts, memories of conflict, cell memories, mitochondria memories, trauma created through conflict, any conflict. This is a war out there, or if this is the shouting of family members, if this is betrayal in any form towards you from parents, grandparents, any lies, whatever the reasons, any misconduct regarding of overstepping, meaning an adult has the responsibility to care for a young one, not to exploit it. So any abuse of anyone, but particular children, CSA, it is often called child sexual abuse in this case, but it can just be any form of violence, any form of control, any form of power over. The same to the even more severe as recurring form of abuse, SRA, satanic ritual abuse, to anyone, children, animals, adults, anyone who did not consent, and any spells, any threats, any system that supported this all goes into that fire of cleansing. The entire banking system is tied to this. Many legal systems are tied to this. Many judges, many anti-social, anti-racial, anti-feminine, anti-animals, anybody who is ever tried or trying to torture and abuse any other human being because of any reason. I'm asking for the hearts of heart to not forget. And when I use the word forgiving, it means understanding the situation, not judging it, but not letting it be an excuse. I understand the notions, and some people say supposedly we all come here and play all the roles. That may not be this way. This may be another program. It doesn't resonate with me to say that. There is a responsibility when you are incarnating as a human being, but as we were incarnating in a system that was the lowest of the lowest, the expression may have come out in a way we never expected. And so who does something and who is it done to all needs to be healed. And the question why was it able to manifest here at all has not been sufficiently answered. So I'm asking for healing for that. A true human being that is fully connected would never harm anyone, not themselves and not another. Yet many may just not be aware. Maybe many good people got caught in bad systems, bad ideas. And with bad, I mean they harmed and they acted power over another human being, overstepping the mark. What a human being is entitled to. If there truly is disease and if there truly is death, if this is not just another designed system, but then it is not us who decides. It is the being itself that has its path made with their connection to the one source. Okay, all that energy behind it, because there seems to be stories behind stories, as if I could sit here 5 years and talk about it. I simply describe that energetic wave behind these words, and that all of that is going to be passed to into this fire of cleansing. Let's breathe. Is there any body part of yours that is speaking to you? Then just please ask it. Yeah, if this is restriction, suppression, somebody tried to silence you, Let's just breathe it into that fire. Any feelings of abandonment, if this is from loved ones, if this is from this very life, maybe even from life itself, which is like as if your own being, your own God, your own goddess, your own universe abandoned you. If this is this kind of feeling, this shadow, well, this shade that simply may have manifested because it was something lodged in the land you lived on, in the house you lived in human beings that had experiences happening to them that they may not even remember because they were too young, or it wasn't them, but it happened tens of generations ago. So any, yeah, fire may cause even restriction because maybe it was just an accident and somebody left his life in a fire, but it's not fully remembered and nobody knows, and so we can heal that now. So we all need the air to breathe and the space to be. So any situation in our lives or the lives of our parents and grandparents and anyone in our ancestral line, anyone who felt restricted in being themselves, we're letting this go now, healing that. Any self-expression, any lack of beauty, lack of color, lack of art, lack of music, lack of dance, lack of food, lack of joy, any situation where you had to pretend to be someone else when you weren't, when you had to play a role simply to survive. Any traumatic experience, we're just putting all of that. Any traumatic experience of another loved one that we had to listen to, that we had to live with. Maybe something that didn't happen to us directly, but happened to a loved one, and it infuriates us that someone maybe younger, maybe smaller, but also maybe older, maybe weaker, but maybe just anyone we cared for. Let's just put all of this in the healing fire. Oh, I am sorry that the energy gets so heavy, and I haven't shared that I started at noon on the 8th of June, and it's a Sunday, 2025, and it feels so churchy right now. It feels so, the energy that is leaving feels so restrictive. We were judged by a culture, we were judged by a religion, we were judged by a way of life. What was good and what was bad was defined, and even the length of your hair, the color of your skin, the way you wore your hair, the way you dressed, what color dress, or with dress I mean all all clothes, but the fact that whether it was trousers or dress or whatever symbolic way clothes were worn and labeled negatively, we're just letting all this go. You don't have to be your Sunday best. You may be with the cleanest of hearts and having worked hard in the garden, you just look like part of the soil. And so being the natural you is okay. You don't need to dress up to be loved. Of course, it's nice for all of us to be rested, showered and bathed and clean clothes and go to a nice place and all that. But this is not what I speak about. You are loved as you are right now. If you're wearing your favorite clothes, but they are worn so much that they look old and rugged, and even though they may be clean, they don't look it, and so it's fine. Your hair isn't combed. It's fine. You're still in bed. It's fine. You're having a restful day on your own. You may feel vulnerable. You may feel absolutely sad, and you may not have slept well, and you may just feel in that space in between, and you may not know anything right now. It's fine. It's just fine to be as you are. And so I think we're coming too close for today's healing circle. It may still go on, and you may still have ideas, and if there's anything I left out, and also I'm saying this to myself, if there's anything I wanted to say and it's gone to the back of my mind right now. Anything that I was meant to say and I've forgotten that needs to go into this healing fire, I place it there. And so I am now asking for all the alchemical forces to restore balance in our beingness. It seems today there isn't even energy to create the new, but we can invited in. We are inviting in the new energy through our breath, and we trust we will be renewed over the next days and weeks. And even if we feel completely empty, not even numb, but we just don't feel anything anymore because we felt it in the last days and weeks, it's fine. So then we let all that, what we felt and all that, what we thought and all that, what came up, we all let this go. And together with our tears and our sweat and our grief, we just place it all into that healing fire, and we simply ask for a renewal of our life and for the joy of our life and for the guidance to come when it's time. Just honor this time of absolute fragility and sensitivity, and trust that the breath will guide us, our body will guide us to who we wish to be and what we wish to do. And now we say goodbye to all the old and invite healing in. And this healing circle that is around our being and our home and our earth and our multiverse, we extend that, and we know that healing will take some time, but our breath, our breathing in and our breathing out is letting go of the old and breathing in of that new energy. So I thank you, and I trust that peace will be a fact on this earth during this year. And I trust that each one of us will absolutely be guided to find their path, to contribute what we feel is okay, and to be who we feel is fine, and to trust that we will know what is important to us. And oof, there are some big rain clouds out there, and so even if you find yourself in the odd clouds, you know, the ones furthest away, it's fine. We heal that too, and we came here for peace, for humanity, and for a restoration and honoring of this planet and all its beings, all of nature. Remember, nature is that what provides our food and water and dwellings we live in. Okay, if you're feeling, you're shivering now, you're feeling cold, it's because things are a little bit overwhelming, and that is also what Jupiter in Cancer can be. I trust you will take care of yourself and not allow the overwhelm to be a constant state of being. I would just say that nurturing yourself, your loved ones, and step by step doing things that are okay to do and to trust that it will become easier. But also to choose, what is it we truly need? Where do we have to spend our resources, and acknowledging that there is a system there that needs changing, but at the moment it's still in place, and so we need to honor certain things and just not to forget you are the absolute intelligence. You know, and you have the answers, and you have the life experience. And so it will become clearer and easier to figure out who and what you truly are, and how to be true to yourself. And you don't need anyone to see you. Just see yourself. Just come from that inner strength of absolutely loving yourself for a being here on earth at this time, and knowing you're doing your best as you can with all the talents and gifts you have. And okay, it feels this healing circle could go on for a year, but for now I trust. Enough is said, and I understand it's maybe not as uplifting as I would like to sound, but I am grateful I am able to come online. I'm only online for 24 hour, like a day rate. And this is what it is. And I thank you for listening, and I trust that those parts that need healing find their way into this healing fire ceremony, healing circle. And whilst I'll close this life circle now, it seems that that healing circle fire will be there for a while, and we can just sit in circle, honoring that what we need to let go and invite in the new. And so I trust that it may be getting a bit more intense till the full moon or till the solstice, but that things are feeling easier. The weather will be changing again. There will be sunny spells, and just soaking up when the sun comes, to sit in its warmth and for it to be more in balance and not too much, and yet just remembering our ancestors have all survived those challenges, otherwise we wouldn't be here, and to honor their path, to honor our path, and also to trust that our hearts will feel lighter again. With this, I thank you for listening, for sharing, for being here. And I thank my voice for speaking these heavy things. And I trust that healing has started long time ago and is carrying on. And as we keep on healing it in ourselves, it will be healed in the collective, and it will be healed for this entire planet, and it will heal the entire timelines. It's not letting me close. I don't know what else to say. Okay, I am asked to honor all those that prematurely ended their lives due to the circumstances they were in, and the grief over that. Missing of those loved ones that went early. That's healing. So allowing all of this to heal. It is healed now. It is healing is going on as we close and trust in peace on this earth, in our families, in our hearts, and that we are healing this in ourselves. Thank you. So it is. This is Blue 1319 on Sunday, June the 8th, 2025. Thank you.